What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today's video is Wolverine issue number 13. This is the Claw Father. And this isn't going to be some huge story arc, this is just one issue. Because what follows this is going to be the last Wolverine. And that's going to be focusing on X-Men's Age of Revelation. But before we get to see the last Wolverine, we get to see Don Logan. Now this story, it starts us off in Louisiana. Like so many Wolverine stories, it starts at the bottom of a bottle. And honestly, most of the time, I would probably argue that this is a played out trope. Seeing Wolverine with a bottle is something that we're so used to, and sometimes it's like, alright, let's move past his alcoholism. I mean, hell, even Tony Stark can get over being a drunk. Wolverine can do the same. But in this circumstance, I'm willing to make an exception because he just dealt with a lot. Mastermind was messing with his memories, messing with everything that he knows to be true, and he really believed that his mother was alive again. That's gotta mess a dude up. And if Wolverine's being honest with himself, he doesn't even know what's real anymore. He's not sure if Mastermind is still in there manipulating him, or if this is reality. But while he drowns away his sorrows in these bottles, this is when Nightcrawler shows up. And Nightcrawler really is just letting him know, like, I'm here to talk if you need somebody. And what could have been a really great moment, it's quickly interrupted by a phone call. When you've lived as long as Wolverine has, you have a lot of life experience, you've been to a lot of places, you've made a lot of acquaintances. This phone call is coming from a debt that is owed from over 100 years ago. This phone call is gonna take Wolverine to Chicago. This is what takes us to Donna Andiamo. Now, Wolverine shows up to this place and they sit down, they have a conversation, and really Donna has figured out who Wolverine is. They had met up in the giant-sized house of M number 1, but she didn't really have a whole grasp on who Logan was. Not until now. You see, Logan is hugely connected with this family. Angelo, her great-grandfather. Him and Logan, they go back to the 1920s. What she's telling Logan is that right now, there's about to be a war on the streets. Her family has always tried to do their best on keeping the peace, on not letting all-out war break out between the families. But their influence, it's not the same as it once was. Their ability to ensure that peace, it's really declined over the years. And many people, they blame this on a specific item, a ring, a signet, the imperial seal, as it were. Ever since her great-grandfather had lost it, it was like a symbol of peace, almost like it had mystical properties, and it helped maintain the balance. And when things looked like they were absolutely their worst, a couple years ago, a dude shows up with the ring in hand. This is when she learned about Wolverine. She did her research. She learned about the man that can't be killed. A man called Wolverine. And Wolverine, he knows what this is. Like, you called me here, you figured out who I am, you've done your research. That means you want me to kill somebody for you. But Donna tells him quite the opposite. In fact, I need you to bleed for me. Now, Donna does believe that this ring has some kind of properties to it, because ever since recovering it, they've been able to consolidate operations in a manner that forgoes most of the bloodshed associated with people in their line of work. And the Flanagans, their family's oldest enemy, they are the sole remaining obstacle to all peace. This is something that not even magic has been able to fix. But there's hope. The family's patriarch, he seems to have seen the light in his old age. He wants to broker a permanent peace. But this contract, it has very specific requirements. It must be signed personally by the family's head. It must be marked with blood. And the protocol dictates that Donna goes in there alone on his turf to sign it. Unfortunately, many of the captains with Flanagan's organization, they don't agree with this contract. They don't agree with this deal. So when she steps foot into HQ, they're definitely gonna try to kill her. But if she kills all of Flanagan's soldiers on sacred ground, the old man will be honored bound to refuse the contract. A situation where she's screwed if she does, screwed if she doesn't. But then it occurred to her, if someone could walk in there, somehow withstand the assault and subdue, but not kill the soldiers, that is someone that could sign the treaty and have a peace in Chicago for the first time. That somebody would obviously be Wolverine. The biggest hang-up, Wolverine is not the head of the family. And so what Donna is doing is telling Wolverine to take the oath, make him a made man, immediately after which Donna is going to name him the successor, pass leadership on to him, and make him Don Logan. The tenure, of course, temporary. Immediately after signing the treaty, he's going to return leadership back to Donna. Then, in turn, being released from his oath, no longer having to adhere to family rules. She knows the risk she's taking, but this is her last hope. This is their last shot. And so with Logan taking that oath, we see him dressed up looking like the Mafia boss we know he could be. And our boy shows up. The goons, the captains, they're waiting. They've been waiting. When Wolverine smashes that door down, all hell breaks loose. There's guys trying to hit him with bats, shoot him with guns, set him on fire. This whole time though, Wolverine doesn't pull out his claws. He just punches. He just smashes. He just knocks these dudes straight unconscious. But even as they try to jump on him, his body badly burned, clothes falling off because of how burned they are. He pushes through, making his way all the way to the boss. Flanagan says that I believe my men have more than learned their lesson, that I'm in your debt for teaching them so gently, apologizing for the mess of everything, but giving them the opportunity to clean up and do this properly. We pick up moments later, and we see the two of them. They cut their thumbs. They sign in blood. The contract is signed. The peace now exists. But the both of them know that peace, it doesn't come easily. And peace, it never lasts. But at least for today, it's worth raising a glass to. With Logan headed back to Donna, Logan's really just telling her, like, just so we're clear, like, lose my number. That is definitely a favor paid. And she tells him, like, don't worry about it. You know, it's not like the movies. We're not going to pull you back in or anything of that nature. You've definitely more than paid your debt to the family. Just know for the record, you are now a friend of the family. Maybe someday we'll be able to help you out. And so with that, Logan, he drinks his drink and he heads out. And this is the great thing about Wolverine. You know, he's walked the path of superheroes. He knows folks in funny costumes talking real comfortably about what is right and wrong. For them, it's simple. It's good and evil, chaos and order, law and crime. Wolverine does try to keep those things from getting worse than they are. Sometimes that means finding a path between right and wrong. It's not necessarily the easiest path. It's a path that's full of traps, a narrow path, but it's just wide enough for a guy like Wolverine to walk. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not bad. You know, like I said, the starting, it definitely played on that very just typical, stereotypical trope of Wolverine being an alcoholic, constantly drinking. Like, it's like a part of his entire personality if he doesn't have a beer in his hand. Which I don't necessarily hate. Like, let the man drink. It can just get frustrating sometimes to see anytime he's struggling, you immediately see him just stupid drunk. You would think after being alive for so long, these are things you might actually come to terms with and actually have some healing. But like I said, considering the situation that he just dealt with, I'm not gonna blame the man for drinking. Like, you thought your mother was alive, you thought Sabretooth was alive, then you figure out it's just Mastermind fucking with you. Like, homie, have a few. Have a few, dude. But this is a fun story. Not only do we get to see Wolverine as Don Logan, we get to see him as a Mafia boss, kind of having that Patch vibe to him. But it's an interesting perspective because while Wolverine is a hero, he is not opposed to walking the path of the criminals. He does what is absolutely necessary. And while some people like Captain America or the goody two-shoes of the world might see Donna and be like, there's no way I'm helping you out, you're the leader of a crime organization. Logan stopped and he listened. And he said, you know what? You are the leader of a crime organization, but what you're proposing is a permanent peace in Chicago, at least between the crime families. And while it could be considered naive to consider a permanent peace a realistic solution for the future, even a temporary peace is better than no peace. If it means less people are dying on the streets, If it means that there is less violence, why not take that opportunity? Even if it is not the grandest of victories, it's a victory nonetheless. All in all, pretty good story, a lot of fun, get to see Wolverine knocking some skulls, but not actually killing anybody, not actually pulling out his claws, which is a rarity. All in all though, not bad, definitely looking forward to the last Wolverine coming from the Age of Revelations. But let me know what you guys think, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you caught up on everything that has been going on with Wolverine. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. This is kind of like Patreon. We got a bunch of different perks, a bunch of different options. It really does help out the channel tremendously. But if you're not able to do that, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel, of liking this video, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any content. And with that being said, until the next breakdown.